Well, the artists articulate, the artists are the people who first articulate the unknown. And so the role of artists in a healthy culture is to bring to public awareness elements of being that have not yet entered the collective consciousness. So you could imagine that we're all living on an island, and many of us are in the center of the island, far enough away so that maybe we can't even see the shoreline and we can't see the ocean. That's where our borders end, but we're distant from them. The artists are right on the edge, and they're expanding the landscape. They're moving the culture forward. That's where my metaphor fails, I guess. They're moving the culture forward into the unknown, and they do that by translating what is as of yet unimaginable but sensed into what is at least imaginable and represented in image and literature. And that's the precursor to its full formulation. Paints over it, and then he paints again, and he paints over it. He moves the figures around on the canvas. It's a window pane, as I said, and you can see him working out problems and solutions to problems using his visual imagination, and the artistic product, the painting, is the consequence of that rather than the aim of it. The aim is to formulate the problems and to work out the solutions, and the artistic product, the painting, is the byproduct of that, not the aim. And so artists move us forward into the unknown, and you can see them doing that in cities because it's the open people, the artists, who go into parts of the cities that have degenerated to some degree back into chaos, and then revitalize them, and they civilize them, and then the less artistic people who are more conventional move in, and that's when you get gentrification and that sort of thing, and that usually chases the artists out. They go somewhere else cheap and interesting and start the renewal process again. So the thing about artists, and it's a hard thing to balance properly in our culture, is that artists are unbelievably productive economically, but it's very, very hard for them to monetize their productivity. So even though what they produce can be of incalculable value, it's very difficult for them to get any of the economic value that they're produced actually directed towards them. It's a major problem with trade openness as a mode of being in the world. Here's the optimistic one. There are lots of people who are creative. They're high in trade openness from a big pharma perspective. They're going to go do creative things. But there are lots of people who aren't creative. So I don't know what they're going to do, because it isn't going to be creative things. No, the literature is pretty clear on that. I mean, the traits are highly heritable. They're modifiable, but if you're really non-creative, it's like it ain't going anywhere for you. The reason for that is creativity it's not all sweetness and light, man. I mean, the reason there are non-creative people is because creative people often die. They're out doing screwy things. They attract attention from people they shouldn't attract attention from, like the authorities. The creative people are revolutionary. Well, tyrants don't really like revolutionaries. There's lots of reason not to be creative. And even now, creative people, it's hard to monetize your creativity. Artists have a hell of a time surviving, right? And so creativity as such it's a double-edged blessing for sure. And part of the reason that lots of people aren't creative is because it's a lot. Let's think about it from an evolutionary perspective. Is because it's a hell of a lot easier not to be decked out in bright colors when the predators come along, right? You want to stay camouflaged against the herd like a zebra. You don't want to stand out. I'll tell you a little story about that. So I think I got this from Robert Sapolsky, and if I didn't, I apologize. But so let's say you're a biologist, you go to study some zebras. People think, well, those zebras are camouflaged because they have black and white stripes. Well, no, that's not camouflage. Lion is camouflaged. It's golden. It looks like the grass. You can see a zebra 15 miles away. It's black and white. Okay, so you're looking at some zebras. And you think, yeah, I need to look at one zebra and figure out what it's doing because I'm trying to understand zebras. So you look at a zebra and then you take some notes to look up out of there and the lions kill it. Because they can identify the thing that stands out and organize their hunt around it. And so that's why there aren't creative people. The worst thing for creative people is not be creative. They just die. Because it's maybe you're a tree, you need to plant. And the idea that art is, the conservatives really have a problem with this in particular, because conservative people tend not to be that creative, because they should be concerned with economic development, and beauty is so unbelievably crucial to economic development. It just yells out at you, you know. So anyway, so that's what artists are doing. And so one of the things I would say is buy a damn piece of art, you know. Find one that really speaks to you, and because it opens your eyes to the domain of the transcendent. That's the right way of thinking about it. A real piece of art is a window into the transcendent. That's what it is.